A reminder now that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. And of course, you can interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions. A United States security expert, Mr. Daniel Benjamin, has described the Boko Haram sect as the world's deadliest terror group. Mr. Benjamin, who made this remark while delivering a lecture at the Second International Conference for Democracy and Good Governance in Port Harcourt today, says Boko Haram is well funded and has become a menace not only to Nigeria, but to other countries in West Africa. Now, apart from the issue of terrorism, speakers at the event also offered suggestions on how to strengthen democracy and good governance. Well, moving on now, the Senate Joint Committee on Finance and Appropriation investigating the $49.8 billion unremitted oil revenue has concluded its investigation and says there was never a case of unremitted $49.8 billion. I beg your pardon. Now, in its report, which was laid on the floor of the Senate, the committee stated that it could not see how the central bank governor arrived at the figure of $49.8 billion in the first instance. The committee in its findings stated that all parties, the CBN, the NNPC, and the Ministries of Finance and Petroleum had resolved through reconciliation that $47 billion had been received into the Federation account out of the total oil lifting valued at $67 billion between January 2012 and July 2013. The committee, however, observed that there is lack of proper and adequate coordination between the key government agencies such as the CBN, the NNPC, the Ministries of Finance and Petroleum, the FIRS, and the DPR. The committee recommended that the NNPC refund and remit $262 million, being expenses it could not satisfactorily defend in respect of holding strategic stock reserves, pipeline maintenance and management costs, as well as capital expenditure. The committee also recommended that the subsidy regime be abolished. Now, the Imo State Governor has been giving account of its stewardship 3 years on. At the Imo State of the Nation address, Governor Rochas Okorocha says it's invested about 35 billion naira in free education and increased the subvention of the Imo State University to 252 million naira.
Research Center,
the Imo State International Convention Center plays host to principal actors in the state administration and some arrowheads from the All Progressive Congress as the state government presents its scorecard after 3 years in office. For Governor Rochas Okorocha, despite lean resources from the federal government, investment in education remains on the front burner as free education has been introduced up to the tertiary level. Also, improved subvention of 252 million naira to Imo State University. The construction of the Imo College of Advanced Professional Studies, the Young Scientists College, and 305 European standard schools in the state.
Spent about 35 billion naira within this period of time on free education to pay for teachers and provide for the free education from primary to secondary to polytechnic to university and to College of Education and College of Nursing in Imo State.
With plans to spend about 250 billion naira on infrastructural development, the state government says over 1,000 projects are ongoing in the state, which includes the construction of 27 general hospitals and a world-class diagnostic center. Workers' welfare, payment of 12 years of standing pension to pensioners, and the revival of the Imo State palm plantation are among its other achievements, a stride that principal officers of the state say has not been a stroll in the park.
The magic in Imo has to do with the prudent nature of the governor. The governor is not under any illusion, really, what his mission is in Imo State. And like he will always say that Imo is the richest state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What he means by that is that in Imo State, we are not wasteful.
This government is not what we will do, or what, just say it, we have done it. It's as simple as that.
When all is said, what the indigenes of Imo State wants is development that is not only changing the landscape of the state, but also impacting on the lives of the people positively.
Well, we take you live now to Owerri, where Charles Uruka is standing by with the state governor. Over to you now, Charles.
Live on the news at 10 by the executive governor. We're now being joined live on the news at 10 by the Executive Governor of Imo State, His Excellency Owele Rochas Okorocha. Thanks for joining us on the news of 10. The news at 10, Your Excellency. Quite an impressive scorecard you reeled out in your State of Imo State address. Now, with such a lean budget as you stated, how come you were able to do that much? Did you have some help from the private sector?
Well, thank you for this opportunity. Let me say that what is happening in Imo State is simply vision and passion embedded in the spirit of sacrifice. And I believe that if you don't have the spirit of sacrifice, you have no business with leadership. So for me, what we did was making sacrifice where necessary. Take, for instance, the security vote, which would have provided for me an ample opportunity of about 2.5 billion plus to spend on what we call security. I mean, that was kept aside so that we can provide free education for the ordinary citizen of Imo State, knowing that education is our number one key industry. And secondly, we were able to bring some business to bear in the issue of governance. Take, for instance, the Imo Palm Plantation yielded to us 3.2 billion naira on the concession arrangement for 20 years. And that's where we're able to raise some money to start building these European standard schools that we have, 305 of them across the 305 wards of Imo State. So, simply put, I think the money is enough if only we are sincere about it. And despite my lean budget, I say Imo State is the richest in Nigeria, not because of cash, because of vision.
Interesting. Now, let's take you up on the issue of education. Well, you said you've made education free in Imo State, and let's face it, education is expensive. At the tertiary level, how has this free education policy impacted on education, particularly in the universities and super secondary school institutions?
Well, if you realize before I came in, if you have kept history, before we came in, the students there was strike in the school because the Senate had increased the school fees from 35 or something to 50 or 100,000 naira. The students were on strike and had been so many strike. When I came in, I said, listen, how much does these children contribute, so to say? I'm taking the fact that most of the people who have their children in universities in Nigeria are average people or very poor people. The real rich ones don't keep their children here, to be honest to you. So whoever has his child in Nigerian school now is either somebody who is average, a civil servant, or a very poor person who is struggling to live. And for me, education is the best we can give to any of our child. So when I managed to lock up all the types of corruption here and there, I was able to save money and put them in the education sector. What have we done simply? For instance, the Imo State University was getting 57 million naira monthly as a subvention. Now I have to increase it to 252 million naira for them to be able to meet up. Because before then, the school was closed. They were overborrowed by 1.8 billion naira from bank, and they could not pay. So we had to come in. And then we said, listen, no child should pay any form of school fees. Government will pay for you.
And what about the quality of education they're getting there then?
Much better than it has ever been. Since before I came in, there has not been any infrastructure one that was ever built in that school, except for the one I built. I mean, I assisted the committee of friends during when the former IG, Kumasi was IG. They built a lecture hall, but now we are building 3 new lecture theater the hall, and some admin block for the university. The accreditation is being done, which has never been done before. So the standard of education is much higher.